Welcome to the 15th game of the round robin of the Softball Canada Men's Under 23 National Championship. We're underway a little early here. Mark Stack is currently at bat for Newfoundland Physio & Co. against Softball Quebec, and Stack hits a single. Before you joined us, Jordan Pomeroy led off the game for Newfoundland with a solo home run, followed by Liam Shea striking out. So there is one out in the top of the first. Newfoundland Physio & Co. is up 1-0 against Team Quebec. Pitching for Team Quebec is Charles Leclerc, and catching for Team Quebec is Zachary Dtil. So with one out and Stack on first, Ryan Marr is at bat, the second baseman for Newfoundland. Strike one on Marr. Both these teams have 2 wins and 2 losses in the round robin, and this game will be important for final standings to determine who possibly could get a double life. Strike 2 on Marr.
2 strikes. 2, 3.
That catches the outside corner, and Marr strikes out looking for the second out of the inning. Nathan Kenny now at bat. He's the designated player for Newfoundland.
Now batting with DP number 8, Nathan Kenny.
It's ball 1 to Kenny. That's fouled off to even the count at 1-1. It's 1-0 for Newfoundland here in the top of the first after a Pomeroy solo shot to lead off the game. It's a dead ball as it hit him in the box.
One ball, 2 strikes.
1-2 count to Kenny. Leclerc delivers. Second baseman, underhanded throw over to first, and Leclerc is out of the inning. That was 1 run on 2 hits with a man left on for Newfoundland in the top of the first.
In the top of the first inning, Newfoundland scored 1 run on 2 hits and 0 errors with 1 runner left on base. The middle of the inning, the score is 1-0. And we'd also like to ask fans to please assist us by returning any foul balls hit out of play and place them in the ball return chute on the third base side of the backstop. And thank you for your assistance.
Pitching today for Newfoundland, Physio and Co. is Mitchell Whalen. Catcher is Adrian Green. Whalen opens up with a ball. Oh, Whalen slips on that one. Finding his footing was a little difficult on that pitch. That's ball 2. We had some rain overnight in Carp. We had a little bit of rain this morning as well, but relatively clear now, and it's game on with game number 15 here at the Softball Canada U23 Men's National Championship at the Carp Fairgrounds. Whalen delivers, slips again, and Breton smacks that up the middle for a single to open things up for Team Quebec. That brings Edouard Asselin up to the plate. He's the second baseman for Team Quebec. Breton on first is speedy base runner. He showed off his wheels yesterday during the game against Saskatchewan. Whalen doesn't like that ball. Probably a little wet from the outfield. Whalen takes the sign. Pause. Asselin shows bunt, but that's bounced in for a ball. Team Quebec plays good fundamentals and are well coached by Jean-Yves Doucette. Whalen. Asselin shows bunt, pulls it back. Pitch looked outside, and it's ball 2. Whalen delivers, and that's well-struck softball over the outstretched hands of Ryan Marr at second. It's gap, it's a little bit of a wet ball, and that proves costly as the speedy Breton scores on the Asselin double. That evens the score at 1-1 here in the bottom of the second inning.
The catcher, number 49, Zach Dutil.
Zach Dutil's now up at bat. We'll see a lot of that today where a greasy ball could result in base runners advancing extra steps. So Dutil comes to the plate. There's nobody out. Asselin's on second. And then we have a tie ball game here at 1-1. That bounces loose of the left-handed catcher, Green, allowing Asselin to reach third base. Ball in play, likely to score Asselin now. And Newfoundland's going to huddle up. Looks like they may have some concerns about the pitching plate. Whalen was having trouble getting his footing. Conference is over. Plate umpire Jean-Michel Laliberté is back behind the dish and ready to call play ball. There's one ball in Dutil. There's nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. Whalen rocks, fires. That splits the plate. Evens the count at 1-1. Whalen pitched well yesterday in a 9-0 victory over the host Ottawa Valley Chiefs. He went almost the distance. He had relief in the last inning, but he pitched very well in that game. That ball's down and away. Counts 2-1 to the catcher. Dutil. Whalen takes the sign. Delivers. Must have been up a little bit. Pitch looked good, but it must have been up a wee bit, as La Liberté called that ball 3. Whalen seems to take issue with that call. It was a close one. Whalen rocks, fires. That's fouled off by Dutil. We now got a full count here, with Newfoundland looking to get their first out of the inning. Newfoundland definitely a hotbed of fast pitch softball. Before the game with the drizzly weather, a couple of the players commented to me that they certainly were used to playing in these type of conditions. Dutil fouled that off over towards the tennis courts. Nobody playing tennis here today. There was a near incident yesterday with a tennis player just about getting beamed with a softball. Thankfully, it narrowly missed him. So full count here. Time's called. Want to dry our ball. Understandable. Given the conditions, we're going to see a lot of that. Whalen, pause, delivery. And that ball's out of the zone. Walking Dutil and putting men on the corners. Xavier Deneau comes to bat. He's the shortstop. Watching him play yesterday, very athletic guy. Did well at the plate, did well on defense. He'll be looking to give Team Quebec the lead here in a game tied 1-1 in the bottom of the first. Whalen takes the sign. And that's fouled off by Deneau. Good punch at that. See if Coach Jean-Yves sends Dutil on the steal here with men on the corners, with nobody out. Deneau ready for the pitch. Whalen delivers, and that's fouled back to the screen here. So that's 0-2. Up in the count. Be looking to get their first out here. If you're just joining us, Jordan Pomeroy led the game off with a solo shot deep to right field, but Team Quebec tied the game here in the bottom of the first. The runner's going. That's popped up. There's a play on it, and it's a great play by Ryan Marr to catch that foul ball right near the Newfoundland dugout for the first out of the game, or first out of the inning for Team Quebec. So this brings up the designated player, Alex Bergeron. Alex pitched yesterday as well, but he's the designated player right now for this game, but we could potentially see him later in the match. So there's one out, runner on the corners. Whalen delivers. Misses the outside corner. That's 1-0. Bergeron. Potentially some challenging conditions today with wet balls, slippery footing. Whalen catches the corner on that and evens the count at 1-1. There's one out here in the bottom of the first. Runners on first and third, excuse me. Whalen trying to work that outside corner once again, but he misses this time. Counts now 2-1. That's punched off hand, but a nice catch in left field. There'll be a play at the plate, and he's safe as Asselin tags up on the sac fly by Bergeron. Good speed by Asselin to give Quebec the lead.
Next up, the first baseman, number 71, Sami Perret.
Sami Perret now at bat with 2 out. Dutil also advanced to second on that sacrifice fly. So Perret looking to drive in. Dutil. Whalen misses on the outside. That ball's fouled out of play. Leading the count at 1-1. Whalen rocks. Delivers. And that's fouled off by Perret. Newfoundland looking to get back to the warm confines of the newly refurbished dugouts here at Carp Diamond 1. Hoping that Whalen can get out of this inning. Whalen fires, and that's a swing and a miss by Perret for the 3rd out of the inning. But not after Quebec, on 2 hits and a walk and a sacrifice fly, score 2 to go up 2-1 after 1 complete inning. So the top of the 2nd inning here in Carp, game 15 of the Under-23 Men's Softball Canada Championship Tournament between 2 teams that are even with 2-2 records in the round robin so far. Logan Power, the left fielder, is up to start things off. Charles Leclerc misses outside with ball 1. That's fouled off. Time's calls. Power needs to get something out of his eye to be able to effectively see. pitches from Charles Leclerc. Leclerc fires. It's a curveball, but that's scorched up through the middle by Power. Leclerc made an attempt at it. Power's got Newfoundland started off here in the top of the second inning.
Now batting the first baseman, number 7, Jordan Hamilton.
Jordan Hamilton here at the plate. Hamilton's the first baseman for Newfoundland Physio and Co. Hamilton shows bunt. Misses it. And that's strike one. Taking signals from the coach down at third. See if the bunt's still on. Newfoundland to attempt to move the man over. Does not appear to be on as Hamilton swings through that to go down 0-2 in this count. Oh, 2 to Hamilton. Logan Power on first after a single. That ball's out of the zone. So it's 1-2 now to Hamilton. Leclerc fires, and that's fouled off by Hamilton to stay alive in this at-bat. Leclerc delivers. It's a little bit low. Counts now even at 2-2. You'll notice Leclerc wearing the protective pitching mask. More and more players now adopting that safety gear. He fires, that's hit hard, just past the outstretched hand of the shortstop, Xavier Dano, who made a great attempt for it, just narrowly missing it. So Hamilton battles back from an 0-2 count
Number 22, Adrian Green.
to single up, and there's now 2 Newfoundland runners on base, with the catcher Adrian Green coming to the plate. Classic bunt situation here with none out and men on first and second in a tight game. We'll see if Newfoundland puts it on or if they choose to do it, as some call it, the fun way, by swinging. Leclerc delivers. Bunt clearly not on. That's hit to the second baseman, but he boots it. An unfortunate error for Team Quebec. And that scores the run as Power crosses in on Green's ball that snuck through to the outfield. There's runners on the corners now in this tie game. There's nobody out. The 9-hitter, Joel Nash, the right fielder, is at the plate. It was a tough play for Asselin. It was a well-hit ball, but it could have been tailor-made for a double play in that situation. But unfortunately for Quebec, it was missed. So Joel Nash up with men on the corners, nobody out in a tie ball game here in the top of the second. It's a called strike to open things up. Next pitch. Just foul. It's 0-2 now. Leclerc. Pause, delivers, puts it on the outside corner. That's hit the other way. Dano fires it over to Asselin, and they erase Green at second base for the first out of the inning. So Nash reaches on the fielder's choice.
Center fielder, number 20, Jordan Pomeroy.
Hamilton was unable to score on that well-hit ball, so the score stays 2-2. We're at the top of the order now with Pomeroy Very, very good hitter in the U23 age bracket. In fact, Pomeroy's a good hitter in any age bracket at the plate. That pitch takes the outside corner, strike one. Pomeroy doesn't look pleased. It's 0-1 on Pomeroy, the center fielder for Team Newfoundland. LeClaire tries to nibble again. Just fouled off by Pomeroy. He's down 0-2 now. Men on the corners here for Pomeroy. LeClaire bounces it in. Pomeroy's not confused on that one. He lays off. Runners stay put. It's 1-2. There's one out, with Pomeroy looking to give Newfoundland the lead back. That's on the outside corner. It's a nice athletic play by LeClaire to erase Pomeroy at first. Nash advances to second, but that's a big play for Team Quebec to keep Pomeroy off the bases there. So there's men on second and third. There's two out. We've got Liam Shea coming to the plate, the shortstop. Shea struck out the last time he was at bat. He'll be looking to redeem himself here in a tie ball game with two men in scoring position. The Newfoundland coach wants to chat with the plate umpire, Jean-Michel Laliberté. They seem to be agreeing about something, so that's good. Liberté puts his mask back on and asks for play ball. LeClaire readies himself, looking to get out of this tight situation. Whoa, even I flinched on that one. That was right coming from my nose, but thankfully there is a backstop and a hut right here. So that's just a foul ball. 0-1. LeClaire delivers. Fools Shea with the changeup. It's 2 strikes on Shea. Important point of the game here for Newfoundland. They could retain the lead. Regain the lead, I should say. But Shea's rung up by La Liberté on a pitch on the outside corner to end the inning. There were 2 hits for Team Newfoundland in that frame. They scored a run. There was an error by Team Quebec. We're tied at 2 after an inning and a half. So here in the bottom of the second, coming to bat for Team Quebec is the left fielder, Nathan Caron. We're going to 2-2 ball game here in the bottom of the second. Mitch Whalen pitching for Team Newfoundland, Physio and Co. Whalen readies. Fires. And that's a strike. Whalen bounces that one in. Men's fast pitch softball. Pitching's from 46 feet. That pitch appeared to be approximately 42 feet. And that's a ball. Mitch Whalen fires one in. And that's strike two. Getting the top part of the zone. To go up 1-2. Whalen asks for time. Caron readies himself in the box. Whalen fires. And that one's a bit high. Evens the count at 2-2. First batter here at the bottom of the second inning is Caron. We're tied 2-2. Back and forth game so far. It's full count now as Whalen misses outside.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Hold on, 2, 3.
Caron looking to start things off here for Team PQ. Fouls one off the screen. Still a full count. Whalen ready. Fires. Caron gets a piece of that, fouls it off. A little overcast today. It's not raining right now. It rained earlier this morning and last night here in Carp. But we've been fortunate to keep the games on schedule, more or less. Mitch delivers, and that catches the outside corner. And La Liberté rings up Caron for Whalen's second strikeout of the game. That's the first out.
The pitcher, number 7, Charles Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc, the pitcher for Team Quebec, now at bat. Whalen's not hitting in the lineup for Newfoundland Physio & Co., but Leclerc is in the lineup hitting as the pitcher for Team Quebec. The third baseman, Félix Isabelle, is not batting for Team Quebec. Whalen continues to work that outside corner on the lefty hitters. Gets himself strike one. The battle of the two pitchers here. Whalen takes the sign from Green. Continues working that outside corner, but he's quite a bit outside on that one, so it's a 1-1 count. One out here in the bottom of the second inning. The game tied 2-2. Whalen delivers. That doesn't fool Leclerc. He punches it out into left field. Ball thrown in by Power.
Batting, center fielder, number 3, Vincent Godet.
Leclerc now on first base with a single. That's the second hit of the game. Third hit of the game for Team Quebec. Vincent Godet now at bat. He's the center fielder. The game I watched yesterday with Team Quebec, Vincent is a very fast base runner. Covers a lot of ground out there in center field and very speedy on the base paths. So Goudet hitting from the right side. Fouls one off. Start off. One out here in the bottom of the second inning. So Whalen ready to deliver here. Fires. That's a bit low. LeClaire. Whoa. Very, very close to being picked off first base there as Green threw a bullet down to Hamilton at first. But he's safe. Good throw by Green. So Whalen fires it in, and that swung on and missed by Goudet. It's 1-2 now to the 9-hitter here in the Team Quebec lineup. Goudet. That's inside. Goudet has to jump out of the way. Another snap throw, and this time, obstruction is called. The throw was snapped down there very quickly. Hamilton made the tag. However, in the umpire's opinion, Chris Carroll determined that the first baseman, Hamilton, had obstructed LeClaire's ability to get back to first base, and as such was safe. But a very, very close play showing off Green's effective arm there. So we still only have the one out, and it's a 2-2 count to Goudet now, as he had to leap out of the way of that pitch. Whalen leans back, fires. That pitch is outside. We've got a full count now to Goudet. Whalen getting deep into a few counts here early in this game. Whalen leans back, delivers, and that's swung on and missed by Goudet. It's a big out for Team Newfoundland, and the third strikeout of the game for Mitch Whalen.
Right fielder, number 89, Tristan Breton.
We're back to the top here with two out. It's LeClaire still on first base after a couple of close calls on snap throws. We're at the top of the order with Tristan Breton at bat. Breton's the right fielder. He singled his last time at bat and scored a run. Whalen fires, and that's scorched by Breton, but a nice play at shortstop by Liam Shea to throw Breton out 6-3 to end the threat. So there's no runs there in that inning. For Team Quebec, they did get a hit, but we're tied 2-2 after two complete.
In the bottom of the second inning, Quebec scored no runs.
Back here in the top of the third inning with Newfoundland coming to bat. We've got Mark Stack, the third baseman. Stack smashed a home run last night in their game against the Ottawa Valley Chiefs. He takes ball one outside to open things up here in the top of the third in our tie game. Misses again. Leclerc misses again. That's 3 balls now on Stack. Stack singled in his previous appearance at the plate here in the first inning. And that's a 4-pitch walk for Stack as he gets on first base, bringing up Ryan Marr.
Second baseman, number 23, Ryan Marr.
Marr is the second baseman for Team Newfoundland & Co. He struck out looking in his previous at-bat here in the first inning. He lays down a bunt, and Leclerc throws it deep over the head of the second baseman, Edouard Asselin. So that error means there's 2 on now as Marr advances to second base on the misplayed bunt and Stacks on third. So there's 2 on in scoring position for Nathan Kenny, the designated player for Team Newfoundland. He grounded out back to the pitcher in the first inning in his previous appearance at the plate today. So Leclerc delivers. That's hit offhand. It could be a play, but it's just over the fence and foul for strike 1 on Nathan Kenny. Umpire La Liberté calls play, and Leclerc delivers. That's outside by quite a bit. A fake throw by the catcher. Dutil has Stack diving back into third base. And Hetherington, the third base umpire, David Hetherington, calls time to make sure the third base bag is pristine and white. So there's 2 on, second and third, with no one out for Kenny. Claire delivers, and that's punched into left field. It's not very deep, but he's running on it. His throw is cut, and that's a sacrifice fly to score Stack. It wasn't overly deep, but it's good enough for an RBI for Nathan Kenny.
Number 10, Logan Power.
So that's first out of the inning. That restores the Newfoundland lead at 3-2. Marr stays on second base. There's 1 out now for Logan Power, the left fielder for Team Newfoundland Physio & Co. Claire fires. Big cut from Power, but that's strike 1. Charles Leclerc rocks, fires, delivers, and that's punched out to center field. It's fairly deep, just before the track. A nice catch made there by the center fielder, Vincent Goudet, for the second out of the inning. And that held Marr at second base. So we've got Jordan Hamilton here now at bat. He's the first baseman for Newfoundland Physio and Co. He singled at his last time at bat. He's got 2 out now and a runner on second. Hamilton faces, swings through it, but just nubs it foul to the third baseman, Felix Isabel. So it's 1 strike on Hamilton. Claire fires one in low. That evens the count at 1-1. Another fake throw from Tsil to keep the runner honest at second base. Claire fires, and that's way inside. Gets away from the catcher Tsil. And Mar wisely takes third base on that wild pitch. They've got 2 out here, does Team Quebec, looking to get a third to get out of the inning. Leclerc fires. That ball is up and out of the zone. We've got some rain starting up here as play continues. Leclerc fires that, gets the inside corner for strike 2. Hamilton thought he earned a walk there, but plate umpire Jean-Michel Laliberté disagreed. Starting to get a little wet here in Carp, but it's still game on. And that's strike 3 to get out of the inning, as Leclerc strikes out Hamilton, his 4th strikeout of the game so far, but not before Newfoundland scores a run on a walk, an error, and a sac fly. So we're 3-2 for Newfoundland Physio and Co. after 2.5.
Starting batting for Quebec is the second baseman.
So back with you.
Edouard
The bottom of the 3rd inning as Team Quebec comes to bat. Edouard Asselin, the second baseman, he's up. He smacked a double and had an RBI in his previous plate appearance and scored the second run of the game for Team Quebec in this 3-2 game with Newfoundland in the lead. Whalen continues to work that outside corner on the left-handed batters, and he gets strike 1. We've been informed of a defensive change that Nathan Kenny, the designated player, is moving to left field, and Logan Power will become the offensive player only in a defensive-only switch. No change to the batting order. Slet balls, punch foul off a picnic table, being chased down by a young ball retriever. Lots of volunteers here in Carp of all ages. 2 strikes on Asselin as Whalen seeks to get the first out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Whalen tries again for that outside corner, but he's just too far out this time, and that's ball 1. Whalen delivers a great squeeze by Green, the catcher, and that's a strikeout for Whalen. That's his 4th of the game.
Number 49, Zach Dutil.
So Dutil, the catcher, comes to the plate now for Team Quebec. He walked in his previous at-bat. Some action in the Newfoundland bullpen as Power is warming up, hence the defensive change. Whalen opens up this at-bat with a strikeout on Dutil. One out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That's fouled off. It's now an 0-2 count on Dutil. We're in Game 15 of the Softball Canada Men's Under-23 National Championships here in Carp, Ontario. Both these teams have 2 wins and 2 losses after 2 days of play in the round robin. Dutil. 2 strikes on him. Whalen delivers. And Dutil just goes with that pitch and punches it out into left field. Testing Nathan Kenny, who just entered the game, but he handles the ball well on the greasy field. Gets it in and limits Dutil to 1 base.
Number 40, Xavier Deneau.
The outfields here in Carp have never looked better, thanks to the professional advice of the folks at Sullivan Agro, who helped the organizers get the grass in tip-top shape here for the men's under-23 championship tournament. So with 1 out and a man on first base, coming to the plate is Xavier Deneau, the shortstop for Team Quebec. Rain's getting a little heavier here, but play continues as Whalen opens up with a strike. Whalen readies, fires. It's down low. Counts 1-1 on Deneau. Deneau popped up to the 2nd baseman in foul territory last at bat. It was a nice play, actually, by Ryan Marr to put Deneau out in the 1st inning. So Whalen delivers. That's punched down 3rd. It's a nice play. It's a chance for a 5-4-3 double play, but he's safe at first base. Great turn there, though. Stack tried to start off that double play, and he made a nice throw over to Marr, but they were unable to turn it. So Deneau reaches on a fielder's choice. There's 2 out. Deneau's on first, and Alex Bergeon, the designated player, is at the plate. He has an RBI in this game on a sac fly to left field in the 1st inning. That's in the dirt, but stopped by Green. Despite being a lefty catcher, he got cross body and was able to stop that ball. Nice defensive play there to prevent the runner from advancing to second. Lots of great defense on exhibit here at the under-23 nationals. These teams play great fundamentals, fast-pitch softball.
Three. One ball. Go.
There's a ball in the batter. There's 2 out. Whalen fires. That's up high. It's ball 2. Rain's not letting up, unfortunately. But these young fellas will play on. That nibbles on the outside corner. As mentioned, Whalen's really working that outside corner on a regular basis, and he's good at it. That's fouled off by Belgian. Battling here to stay alive. Hopefully the rain lets up somewhat. Our on-staff meteorologist here in the under-23 Canadian Nationals Committee, Paul Griffith, has predicted that we will have a decent day of weather. So we're hoping Paul's right. Time's called. Conditions slightly suboptimal for a fast-pitch softball game, but they are the same for both teams. So Whalen fires it in there, and that's strike 3. It drops in the zone, according to La Liberté. And Bergeron gets rung up. That's the 4th strikeout so far for Mitch Whalen, and that keeps Newfoundland in the lead 3-2 after 3 innings complete. So after 3 complete innings, the officials have called for a rain delay. We're hoping this weather moves through quickly. We're currently in a 3-2 ball game with Newfoundland Physio and Co. in the lead over Team Quebec. We'll take a brief break, and we'll be back when the weather clears. So apparently I've been talking, and you haven't been listening because you couldn't hear me. Sorry about that technical difficulty, but we appear to have addressed that. So Adrian Green had led off with a walk.
Now batting, the center
There's now
fielder,
one out
20, Jordan Palmer.
as Joel Nash hit into a fielder's choice. So he's on first with one out. Bringing leadoff hitter Pomeroy to the plate for Newfoundland. He led off the game with a home run deep to right and grounded out in his second at-bat. So thanks for sticking with us, those of you who did, after a brief rain delay. Very brief rain delay. We're back at it. Pomeroy watches another pitch outside. It's 2-0 to him. Pomeroy, not only a top-level under-23 fast-pitch softball player, he also plays in the International Softball Congress, the ISC level, with the Bear Creek Express. It's a swinging strike, so that's 2-1 on Pomeroy. The leadoff batter for Team Quebec, or Team Newfoundland, excuse me. Leclerc tries to nibble again, but that's out of the zone. So it's 3-1 to Pomeroy. Man on first and one out for Newfoundland in the top of the fourth inning. They lead the game 3-2. Leclerc, that's up the middle. Pomeroy doesn't get a whole lot of it, but the speedy Pomeroy beats it out to first as Nash takes third on the bobbled ball. So despite not hitting it as cleanly as he would like, Pomeroy,
now batting the shortstop, number 9, Liam Shea.
his wheels enable him to get to first base. We'll see how the official scorer scores that. In my book, I think that's an infield single given his wheels. Though the ball was bobbled, I believe he would have been there safe anyway. So man on the corners for Liam Shea. The shortstop for Team Newfoundland. He'll be looking to put one in play here. He struck out in both his previous at-bats. That ball's up and out. Ball one. That's down. It's 2-0 to Shea. Hitter's pitch here. It's 2-0 count. Man on the corners. One out. That's a called strike for strike one. Newfoundland scored one run in each of the previous innings. Pomeroy steals, and he's throwing out, stealing. Nice arm shown by Cecile, the catcher, to throw out the speedy Pomeroy. So he's caught stealing for the second out of the inning, and Nash did not take home on that steal play. So that's 2 out now with the man on third for Shea. And that swung through by Shea as Leclerc gets out of that inning without a run. So in my book, that was one hit and a walk, one left on, but no runs for Newfoundland in the top of the fourth inning. So here in the bottom of the fourth inning, with Newfoundland, Physio, and Co. up 3-2 over Équipe Quebec. We've got Sami Perret at bat. Sami is the first baseman for Team Quebec. Struck out in his previous at-bat. Whalen still pitching for Team Newfoundland. That's hit weakly to first. Hamilton tosses the ball over to Marr for
Now batting
the first out of the inning.
73, Nathan Caron.
That brings Nathan Caron to the plate. He's the left fielder. He also struck out in his previous plate appearance. Whalen fires. Whalen really working that outside corner to left-handed batters this morning, doing it effectively. That's called first strike. If umpire La Liberté is going to give that to him, Whalen is going to take it. Whalen fires. It's down in the dirt for ball one. 1-1 on Cato. Again, that outside corner. 1-2. Batters will definitely have to adapt to that. That's going to be called a strike all game consistently. They'll need to try and put that the other way into left field. So Caron swings through that changeup. That is the second out of the inning. That's 6 strikeouts now for Whalen. So Leclerc at bat here with 2 out, the bottom of the fourth. He'll look to help his cause as the pitcher of record so far for Équipe Quebec. Leclerc singled in his previous at-bat. Spanks that to short. That's fielded cleanly by Shea, and he puts Leclerc out at first. Very efficient inning for Whalen, 3 up, 3 down. And we remain with the score Newfoundland 3, Équipe Quebec 2.
No runs on no hits with 0 errors and none left on base. At the end of 4 innings, the score is 3-2 for Newfoundland. Starting batting for Newfoundland is number 12, the third baseman, Mark Stack.
So welcome back. Here we are in the top of the 5th inning of Game 15 of the Softball Canada Under-23 Men's National Championship here in Carp, Ontario. The Newfoundland Physio and Co. team are up 3-2 over Équipe Quebec after 4 complete. Mark Stack's now at bat. He's the third baseman for Team Newfoundland. He hasn't been put out yet. He singled in his first at-bat, and he walked and scored a run in his second. Stack definitely can hit for power. We saw that last night in Newfoundland's game against the host team, Ottawa Valley Chiefs. That ball's up and out of the zone. Stack disciplined at the plate here. Claire delivers, and that bounces in. 3-0 count to Stack. Claire fires one in. The top of the zone for the first strike. It's 3-1. That's pounded between the first and second baseman by Stack, so he stays with his 100% on-base percentage this game.
Now batting second baseman, number 23, Ryan Marr.
Ryan Marr comes to the plate. Marr struck out looking in his first at-bat and then reached base on an error where the pitcher, unfortunately for Quebec, overthrew the ball into right field. So there's nobody out. Ryan Marr coming to the dish. Bit of a conference here with the Newfoundland coach. Calls over Stack to decide on strategy here on how they're going to approach this. Not sure if the Newfoundland team's a democracy and the players will vote on this, or whether the coach will dictate the strategy. My thoughts, based on history of being a player and a coach, it'll be the latter. Conference breaks up. Fist bumps all around. Stack returns to first base. Looks like Bergeron is now into pitch. He's the designated player on this game.
Is number 39, Alex Bergeron.
So Bergeron will be in to throw now. As Leclerc will stay in the lineup hitting, but will no longer be on defense. Helpful rule, Softball Canada rulebook, the designated player and flex player. Flex player plays defense only. The designated player can be used in different situations on defense and hitting. Quebec has used this combo at least once previously in this tournament. So we've got Marr coming to bat. Stack on first, facing a new pitcher. Nobody out. Newfoundland up 3-2. Umpire La Liberté signals the game to resume. And that offering is let go for ball one. See if Newfoundland does follow through on the bunt attempt, sacrifice Stack into scoring position. That bunt's fouled off. It's 1-1 count. As Meyer takes the signs from his coach down at third base. Sack bunt. Fielded by Isabel. And Mars put out at first. So there's one out. Stack's over at second base now in scoring position.
Now batting the DP number 8, Nate Kenny.
For Nathan Kenny. He's the designated player. And last I saw, he was actually playing left field. So Kenny's looking to change the score of this game. Jean gets a strike there. That outside corner. It's fouled back. Kenny's in an 0-2 hole now. That's fouled back and the count stays 0-2. Kenny grounded out to the pitcher in his first at-bat, but hit a sac fly to left to drive in the third go-ahead run for Newfoundland in the third inning. So Kenny fouls another one back. He's hanging here, trying to get that pitch that he wants to score Stack from second base. So with an 0-2 count and one out, there's Jean delivers. That's off the glove of Dutil. Stack takes third base on that pass ball, bettering his position. Pitch. That's scorched up the middle by Kenny for his second RBI of the game. That puts Newfoundland up 5-3. Excuse me, 4-2.
Now batting the left fielder number 10, Logan Power.
So Logan Power is now at the plate. There's one out. Nathan Kenny's on first. Power singled and eventually scored in the second inning and flew out to center field in his second plate appearance. Power looking to continue the rally here off the new pitcher, Bergeron. Big jump off first by Kenny, but he doesn't go. That's fouled back hard by Power. May like a second chance at a similar pitch. We had a bit of a rain delay earlier, but thankfully it was quite brief and we got back to resuming play. We're now in the fifth inning with Team Newfoundland up 4-2. That pitch is lifted to left. The left fielder, Caron, has to come in a few steps, but he makes the catch. Kenny stays at first. There's now two out.
Batting the first baseman, number 7, Jordan Hamilton.
Hamilton's now at the plate. He singled in the first, his first plate appearance in the second inning. He struck out in his second at bat. There's two out. And he's taken out, caught stealing as Kenny attempts to steal on the first pitch. Dutil's got a good arm back there. He's demonstrated that a couple times now. Second runner caught stealing. So the inning ends with two hits, and a run scored by Newfoundland to take that 4-2 lead after 4.5. So we're here in the bottom of the 5th. Quebec's down 4-2. The 9 hitters at the plate. Vincent Gaudet. He's the center fielder for Team Quebec. He struck out in his previous appearance. But from previous games here at the Softball Canada Men's Under-23 National Championship, Gaudet has wheels. Moves around the base paths quickly. So Whalen opens things up with a ball, and it's 1-0. Second pitch, same area. It's 2-0 to Gaudet. He looks down to Coach Jean-Yves Doucet to get the sign. That pitch is in pretty much the exact same spot as the previous two. And Whalen's in a 3-0 hole to the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That catches the outside corner. It was in a similar spot, but a little tighter to the plate. So it's 3-1 now to the center fielder, Gaudet. That's up the middle. Oh, almost knocked down there by Shea, but he can't quite make the play. That ball was hit hard by the speedy Gaudet as he reaches base to lead off things here in the bottom of the 5th for Équipe Québec. That brings us up to the top of the shop here. The right fielder, Tristan Breton, is now batting.
Now batting the right fielder, number 89, Tristan Breton.
Breton singled in the 1st, grounded out in the 2nd. Now coming back up here in the 5th after a couple of quick innings for Team Quebec. So we'll see if Gaudet's on the move here, or if the bunt is on, or if Quebec tries any kind of strategic play here to get a runner in scoring position. Whalen fires. Gaudet takes a big jump back to the bag. Strike 1 on Breton. Time's called. Warming up in the right field bullpen is Logan Power for Softball Newfoundland. So they have him ready in case Whalen gets into trouble here. He's on the move. The throw's at the bag. But as previously discussed, Godet can move quickly down those base paths, and he takes second base. So with Godet now on second, 2 strikes on Breton. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. It's just fouled by Breton. Staying alive here. Whalen rocks, fires, delivers. That's up and out of the zone. So Whalen fires it in. That's fouled back by Breton. He's hanging well, staying alive here. Looks like the sun's attempting to peek out here in Carp. We had a rain delay earlier in this game, but it was thankfully brief. Keep things on schedule here on day 3 of the Softball Canada Under-23 Men's National Championship here in Carp. Whalen fires, that's hit offhand, and it's just off the outstretched glove. And it's going to cause or result in a run being scored as Godet manages to take home. Breton gets himself to second.
Now batting the second baseman, number 8.
As the ball bounced off the glove of second baseman Ryan Marr. Difficult play. But the speedy Team Quebec takes advantage of that miscue to get within 1 run of Newfoundland Physio and Co. So now we've got Edouard Asselin up to bat. He's got an RBI from earlier in this game when he doubled in the first inning. He struck out in the third. He'll be looking for another RBI here in the bottom of the 5th. That ball's just outside the reach of catcher Green. He throws it down, but it's not in time as Breton takes third base on that wild pitch. So there's nobody out here. A ball in play by Asselin has a good chance of tying this game, given the wheels that are on third base. And that's hit right back at Whalen, up the middle. That ties the game. Softball Quebec rallies here in the bottom of the 5th. That's an RBI single, his second RBI of the match for Asselin.
Now batting the catcher, number 49, Zach Dutil.
So that brings Zach Dutil to the plate. He's walked and he's singled, and he's showing off an absolute cannon behind the dish, throwing out a couple of base runners. Kid's got an arm. A little mound visit here by the Newfoundland coach. Set things straight. Looking to get his boys back on track here as the game's now tied here in the bottom of the 5th. No change yet. No change yet. Whalen still wheeling. And he's going to face Dutil, who's had a pretty good game on both sides of the ledger, offensively and defensively. Nobody out here. Asselin on first. Whalen fires. That's outside for ball 1. Quebec looking to rally here. They've tied things up so far after scoring 2 in the first Their bats were quiet for the next 3 innings, but they've woken up here in the 5th. Whalen fires. That could be a double play, but the speedy Dutil runs it out. Shea took that himself to get the put out at second base. Fired it over to Hamilton at first, but it wasn't in time. So with 1 out and Dutil on first, we've got Dano, the shortstop. He popped out and reached on a fielder's choice earlier this game. He's looking for his first hit. Two runs so far for Quebec here in the bottom of the 5th. Dano lifts that to left center. It's back on the track. It's a nice catch by Pomeroy. And Dutil has to go back to first base. Got a good piece of that, Dano, but it wasn't quite enough. And it's the second out of the inning. So Dutil's the catcher. And in Softball Canada rules, when there's 2 outs, the catcher can be replaced by the last eligible batter to give the catcher time to put his gear on for the next inning. It's the 2-out catcher rule. Many catchers are fans of that rule. That puts Dano to run for Dutil. So the designated player, who is also now the pitcher, Alex Bergeon's now in with 2 out. He's hoping to change the score for Équipe Québec. Whalen delivers, fouled off. Hamilton gets the ball dried off for his pitcher, Mitchell Whalen. Whalen rocks, fires, nibbling on that outside corner that he's been using so much this game, but that one's a ball. Whalen fires. That's punched into left. There could be room for that play in foul territory, and there is. It's a great catch out there by Nathan Kenny to end the inning, but not before Softball Quebec's 2 runs on 2 hits, and there was an error by Newfoundland Physio and Co. The game's knotted up at 4-4 after 5 complete. We'll be back soon with the top of the 6th.
5 innings, the score is tied at 4-4. We'd like to thank a few more of our triple sponsors. Thanks to Goldie Moore.
So we're here in the top of the 6th. We've got a tie ball game. The official scorer did mark Breton's swat there a hit, so I'll go with them. Back in the bottom of the 5th. So both teams have 4 runs. Both teams have 7 hits. Jordan Hamilton's now at the plate to lead things off here in the top of the 6th for Newfoundland, Physio and Co. Hamilton has a single and a K in his previous at-bats here today. That pitch on the outside corner. It's 1-1 on Hamilton. Oh, that's bounced in for ball 2. 2-1 now to Hamilton. Other teams arriving for the game following this. That's a ball outside. The 1 o'clock game here on Diamond 1 will be Alvinston, which is Ontario 3, and the Saskatchewan Delisle Pride. That pitch looked close, but La Liberté decided that was the ball, and Hamilton walks. La Liberté is not pleased with some of the verbiage coming from the Team Quebec bench and instructs them to cease immediately. So Green's up. There's a man on first. That's Jordan Hamilton. Adrian Green, the catcher, now at the plate. He's walked and he's reached on an error. He tries the slap bunt, which is a lost art. You don't see that too much anymore in fast pitch softball. One of the key organizers of this committee that brought the Softball Canada U23 men's nationals here to Carp, Jeff Latham, was a master of the slap bunt in his days playing high-level men's fast pitch softball. That pitch is out. 1-1 now to Adrian Green. Goes with the legit bunt, but he pops that up back to Bergeron, so that's 1 out now. As Green walks off, disappointed. Substitution now, as a pinch hitter's coming in for Team Newfoundland to replace Joel Nash, who hit into 2 fielders' choices in his plate appearances. So while it officially hasn't been announced, it looks like we'll have Lyndon Power coming to bat here for Newfoundland Physio and Co. in the top of the 6th as a pinch hitter, and we'll see if he stays in the game defensively or if Team Newfoundland uses the re-entry rule.
In for number 44 is number 73, Lyndon Power.
So Power comes up with 1 out and 1 on in a tie game in the top of the 6th in game 15 of the Softball Canada Under-23 men's national championship here in Carp. That ball catches the outside corner, righty batter Power for strike 1. Pitch in a similar location, but just a bit out, and is called ball 1. So it's now 1-1 to Lyndon Power. That's on the inside corner as Bergeron's moving that ball around. It's 1-2 now to the pinch hitter, Lyndon Power. Ball's just low for ball 2. 2-2 now. Very close game here this morning to open things up at day 3. That's right across the middle of the plate. and yanked foul by the pinch hitter, Lyndon Power. Thanks to everybody who's watching today, this morning, our game. If you have any comments, feel free to put them in the chat here on our Facebook page. That pitch is inside. Power is claiming it hit him. Does not appear that umpire La Liberté is buying that. He's trying to show where it hit him. But the plate umpire is not buying what Lyndon Power is selling. So it's full count now. And that's down Main Street, swung through by the pinch hitter Power. For Béjon's first strikeout since he came in relief of Leclerc in the 5th inning. So now there's 2 out. That brings the top up. Jordan Pomeroy. He's homered and he's singled. He's 2 for 3 today. Very good hitter with a good chance to change the score here. The top of the 6th in a tie ball game, tied 4-4. Attempt to nibble on the outside corner is unsuccessful. Pomeroy gets a piece of that. It's lifted back in left field. It's a bit of a yard sale out there, and that ball is dropped. That scores Hamilton all the way from first, running with 2 outs at the crack of the bat. And Pomeroy's on third. We'll see whether that scored a triple or an E7. But the end result is Newfoundland takes the lead 5-4. It was a tough play for Caron out in left field. He seemed to have trouble getting a handle on that ball, but he just about made the catch as it dropped off, or deflected off his glove and dropped into left field. So now the speedy Pomeroy's on third. There's 2 out. Oh.
Change for Newfoundland. Out is number 9 and in is number 19, Noah Dunn.
Noah Dunn's into hit here. Pinch hit for Liam Shea. Shea struck out 3 times so far this game. So Noah Dunn's getting a chance to hit here in a pinch hitting role. First offerings down and away for ball 1. That scorched right over the shortstop's head to bring in Pomeroy, and Dunn's not going to be satisfied with a single. He slides into second base. Great pinch hit by him, driving in Pomeroy to make the game 6-4 now in favor of Newfoundland. That brings Mark Stack up. Mark Stack, a dangerous hitter in the Newfoundland lineup. Stack's got a pair of singles and a walk and scored twice. He's an elite level hitter, and Team Quebec will have to be careful with him to avoid adding another run to the deficit. We've got a conference here as Coach Frédéric Robichaud was out to visit with his pitcher to give him some instructions on how to throw to Mark Stack. I've tried that before by telling my own son, don't let him hit. Doesn't always work. And that's edged out, but it looks like it's misplayed. And Stack reaches base. and keeps the rally going.
Now batting the second baseman, number 23, Ryan Marr.
That's tough for Team Quebec. They needed an out there. So now there's men on the corners. There's 2 out. Ryan Marr's in. He struck out in his first at-bat. Then he reached on an error. Dropped a sacrifice bunt in the 5th, a nice one that helped manufacture a run for Newfoundland. So now he's got another chance here to make a difference for Team Newfoundland. With a 2-run lead here in the top of the 6th, that first pitch is out of the zone for ball 1. Marr lets that one go, but it's strike 1. Marr, the second baseman for Newfoundland, punches that, and it drops in. A little leaker that earns him an RBI as Dune scores, and Stack advances to third. So that's 3 runs now for Team Newfoundland in the top of the 6th to extend their lead to 7-4. So Nathan Kenny's at the plate. He's playing left field now. He's the designated player on the lineup card. And he lifts one foul. And that scorched through what Blair Setford likes to call the 5.5 hole between the shortstop and third baseman. And that scores another run as Stack plates on Kenny's RBI single.
Now batting the left fielder, number 10, Logan Power.
So Newfoundland's batted around now as this is their 9th hitter this inning. They've scored 4. Logan Power's at bat. He's been warming up pitching but hasn't appeared yet. He's the offensive player only. And he lifts one, but that's played by the second baseman, Asselin, for the last out of the inning. So Newfoundland bats around, sends 9 men to the plate, scores 4 runs, and take a commanding 8-4 lead going into the bottom of the 6th.
Starting batting.
So we're back here in the bottom of the 6th inning with Team Quebec coming to bat. They're down 4. Looking to respond to that big inning from Team Newfoundland last frame. So Sami Perez at bat. He's the first baseman. He's struck out and he's grounded out. Looking to start the rally here for Équipe Quebec. He fouls off the first pitch. My research tells me that Sami Paré is a hockey player as well, a two-sport athlete. And he played at the major junior level in the QMJHL. So Paré, with one strike on him, facing Mitchell Whalen. That ball's just out. Counts even at 1-1. Whalen delivers. That ball's out of the zone as well, so it's 2-1 now. That's foul tipped. Squeezed by Green. It's 2-2 now to Paré. You're just joining us. We're in game 15 here of round robin play at the Softball Canada U23 Men's National Tournament in Carp, Ontario, near Ottawa. That's ball 3 now to Paré, who's worked a full count. Whalen's pitched well so far today. He's got deep into several counts, but has thrown a good game for Newfoundland Physio and Co. That ball's fouled. Still a full count. Paré looking to start a rally here. He lifts that up high. And that's caught for the first out of the inning by shortstop Liam Shea, who re-entered the game after Noah Doon pinch hit for him in the top of the 6th. In fast pitch softball, there is the re-entry rule. When a starting player is substituted for, that starting player can re-enter once into the game, and the substitute can no longer play. But the re-entry rule enables what Newfoundland just did that last inning, to allow a pinch hitter to come in, take his hit, and then the player who had started the game can re-enter into the game afterwards. So with one out, Team Quebec's making a change. They're bringing in a pinch hitter of their own, replacing Nathan Caron.
Change for Quebec here. Number 73 is out, and now batting is number 10, Mika Houle.
So Mika Houle is now into bat here in the bottom of the 6th. Houle came in yesterday in the game against the host Ottawa Valley Chiefs as a pinch runner. Now he's getting a chance as a pinch hitter. Houle lets that first pitch bounce for ball 1. Don't have any birth certificates in front of me, but if I had to guess, I would say that Mika Houle is not one of the older players here at the U23 National Championship. Looks like a young fellow. That's strike 1. If anybody out there watching knows how old Mika is, feel free to put it in the comments. That's ball 2. It's fouled off. I've been informed here by one of the comments that Mika is 16 years old playing here in the under-23 national championships. Merci, Justin. That's ball 3 to Mika. Whalen delivers, and Uhl fouls that off. He's hanging well here for a young fella against some much older players here at the Under-23 National Championship. Full count on Uhl. And he puts a single into left field. Great at-bat by the young Uhl. Clearly a reason why the 16-year-old is part of this under-23 team. I would imagine Coach Jean-Yves Doucette sees a lot of potential in that young fella. So great hit by Uhl to start things off with one out.
Number 7, Charles Leclerc.
This brings up Charles Leclerc. He started the game pitching. He's now the offensive player only, but still hitting for Équipe Quebec. So Leclerc comes to the plate. He's singled, and he's grounded out in his previous appearances. Pitch is up and out of the zone. Équipe Quebec's down 4 here in the bottom of the 6th. It's an 8-4 game. But Newfoundland just scored those 4 runs in the top of the 6th to take the lead. It's been back and forth, tight game all the way through. So Mitchell Whalen delivers. That ball is way up and out of the zone, and Uhl takes second base on the wild pitch. Putting himself in scoring position, taking the force off. Good base running by Uhl. Leclerc lets that pitch go, but it catches the outside corner, a corner that he got when he was in the circle, so tough to argue. It's been consistent all game by plate umpire Jean-Michel Laliberté. Mitchell Whalen delivers. That pitch is too far out, though, to be called a strike, as Whalen confirms what I suspected. So it's 3-1 now to Charles Leclerc. Quebec needs base runners to get back in this game. Leclerc fouls that off. Mark Stack picks up the ball for Mitchell Whalen, the pitcher, delivers it to him. Full count now to Leclerc. Whalen delivers. That's up. Nice play made. But the speedy Leclerc is thrown out at first base. Shea makes the play. That's a bang play over there for Chris Carroll, the first base umpire. So that's 2 out now.
Batting with center fielder number 3, Vincent Godet.
So Vincent Godet comes to the plate. He struck out his first time seeing Whalen. The second time he singled. He's a speed threat here on the bases if he gets on. Uhl is over at third after that ground out by Charles Leclerc. (8-4) here in the bottom of the 6th at the U23 Nationals in Carp. That ball's punted out to right field. The catch is made by Joel Nash, who also re-entered the game in the re-entry rule, and the threat's over. So one hit by the youngster, Miko Uhl, but that's all that Équipe Quebec could muster in the bottom of the 6th. Score stays 8-4 with Newfoundland coming to bat in the top of the 7th.
At the end of 6 innings, the score is 8-4 for Newfoundland.
So here we are back in the top of the 7th. Newfoundland coming to bat here. They've got a commanding 8-4 lead. Jordan Hamilton leads things off for us. Young Miku did his job, and he's been, the re-entry rule has been used, and Caron's back in left field, but good on him to pinch hit in a situation where they needed a hit. Unfortunately, they were unable to plate him, so the score stays 8-4. So Hamilton, he led things off last inning and started the rally with a walk. He's looking to start things off again. His other plate appearances, he had a single and a strikeout. That pitch is out of the zone for a ball. And that ball comes in for a strike. Catching a fair bit of the plate there. It's a full count now to Hamilton. He worked a full count the last time, got a walk. Let's see if he can do it again. He swings through this time and strikes out. That's the second strikeout for Bergeron since he came into the game.
Now batting the catcher,
midway through the 5th.
Adrian Green.
Brings Green to the plate. He reached on an error. He walked, and he popped up in his previous plate appearances. Open up with a strike there on Green. Given his position behind the dish there, he should be fairly familiar with the zone for this morning's game. That off-speed pitch is a little bit high. Ball one. That ball scorched to left. It's back. It's back. What a catch by Caron in left field. Excellent catch that saved what looked to be a possible home run for Adrian Green. Excellent defensive play there. So that's 2 out now. Bringing up Joel Nash. Joel Nash hitting the 2 fielders' choices in his 2 previous attempts. He was pinch hit for in the 6th, but he's back up now as he's re-entered the game. So there's 2 out. Top of the 7th. Quebec looking to end this inning and get back at the bats. That ball's fouled. It's 0-2 on Nash. That ball's down and away. It's 1-2. That ball's bounced in, so it's now 2-2. And Nash swings at that outside pitch. That ends the inning. It's the 3rd strikeout for Bergeron today in his relief appearance. So that ends things for Newfoundland in the top of the 7th. Quebec has their last chance coming up to score. Down 8-4 going into the bottom of the 7th.
Is 8-4 for Newfoundland. And don't forget to visit the food and beverage area in the outdoor rink.
Back with you in the bottom of the 7th inning. This is Quebec's last chance. Down 8-4. First batter is the leadoff man, Tristan Breton. Breton's singled twice, scored a pair of runs. Has a ground out in there too. So he's 2 for 3 on the day, and Team Quebec will really look to him to start a rally here as they got to get back 4 to at least tie this game to extend it into an 8th inning. That pitch is just out for ball 1. 1-1. Mitch Whalen in his 7th inning of work here, looking to finish off things with a complete game. He struck out 6 so far and given up 7 hits. Pretty good outing. Breton leads things off with a nice single. Put a little life into Team Quebec.
Now batting the second baseman, number 8, Edouard Asselin.
That brings Asselin up. Asselin, he also is 2 for 3. He's got a pair of RBIs. He's got a double and a single. Down 4. I wouldn't expect any small ball here from Coach Jean-Yves Doucette, but one never knows what tricks he may have up his sleeve. So Asselin at the plate. Newfoundland will be playing for outs, as the saying goes, with a 4-run lead. They will be making sure to get outs. That ball scorched to shortstop. It's in the top. Oh, and just too late to get Breton at first base. So nice play there
49,
by Shea at shortstop to get the first out. Bringing up Zachary Dutil to bat. He's walked, he's singled, and he's hit into a fielder's choice. Dutil's had a very strong game behind the plate as the catcher for Team Quebec. So Équipe Quebec got a man on. There's 1 out. They're down 4. They need something here. Did he swing on that? La Liberté checks with Carroll, and umpire Carroll says indeed he did swing. So that's 1 strike for Whalen. Whalen delivers. That's hit hard into left field. Breton checks up at second. They need base runners. He cannot risk getting thrown out at third. So a single for Dutil. He continues his great game on both sides of the diamond. Xavier Dano, the shortstop for Équipe Quebec, now at the plate. He's 0 for 3, but he's the cleanup hitter, and I'm sure he's there for a reason. Équipe Quebec down 8-4 in Game 15 of the round robin at the Under-23 Canadian Championship. He puts that into right center field. That's going to score a run. That moves Dutil to third base, taking off the force, and scores Breton. So an RBI for Dano on that single. It's now 8-5. There's 1 out.
Now batting,
quick conference in the circle for Newfoundland Physio and Co. to discuss things over as the designated player and currently pitching. Alex Bergeon is now at bat. Now's probably a good time to mention that the Softball Canada Under-23 Men's National Championship wouldn't be possible without the support of Alterna Savings. The organizing committee thanks them for their assistance in sponsoring this event. They've been a great help to make sure it's successful. So it looks like we got a pinch runner in for Team Quebec. not received the change yet, but we have a pinch runner in for Team Quebec. First pitch is outside for ball one. Ball's fouled off. Looks like it might be Benjamin Roy in to run for Dano. So men on the corners here with one out. That ball's hit sharply, and they choose just to take the sure out at first. So the pitcher's erased on his attempt to change the score. There's two outs now.
First baseman, number 71, Sammy Perret.
There's two men on base at second and third. Sammy Perret is at bat. Sammy's 0 for 3 today, but this is a huge at bat for him and Équipe Quebec, as they're down 3, 8-5 in the bottom of the seventh. That ball's left. Close. It's a close call. Whalen wanted to strike. Green wanted to strike. But La Liberté says, that's ball one. Whalen delivers. Perret leaves that down and out. It's 2-0. To Perret. Leaves that ball out. That's 3-0. Interesting decision here for Whalen. Does he try and split the plate? Does he try and nibble? Down 3-0 in this count to Perret. And he tries to split the plate. And Perret had the green light from Coach Jean-Yves Doucette. And fouls it off. So it's 3-1 now. Important at bat. Game on the line here. So Perret's ready. Whalen's ready. And that's scorched into right field. A clutch hit from Perret. That's going to score two, and we have a one-run ball game here. 2 RBIs for Sammy Perret with a clutch hit. So we're now 8-7.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 73, Nathan Caron.
That brings Caron to the plate. He was pinch hit for the last time he came around in the order. He struck out twice. He made an outstanding defensive play in the previous inning. So now's his chance to keep things going with Team Quebec down 1 run in the bottom of the seventh with 2 out. We've got Perret on first base. He represents the tying run to get us at least into the 8th in this round-robin match. Caron fouls that. He was a bit behind on that pitch, but he got a good piece of it. Quite a rally here for Équipe Quebec in the bottom of the 7th. When the pressure's on, they've responded. Whalen delivers. Caron fouls that back. He's got 2 strikes on him now. Both teams that play in the subsequent game after this, the 1 o'clock game, Alvinston Aces from Ontario and the Delisle Saskatchewan Pride, they're both here watching as this game's going right down to the wire. Time called. Whalen ready to deliver. Rocks and fires, and it's fouled off as Caron continues to hang. Whalen gets the sign. Deep in concentration on this important pitch. Leans back, he fires, and that ball's outside. It was close. Caron took that one. That outside corner's been called a lot today, but that one was just too far off the plate for La Liberté to ring him up to end this game. One man on, 2 out, 1-run ball game. Bottom of the 7th. Caron continues to hang with another foul ball. Really battling up there in a pressure situation. Two and two on Caron. It's 8-7 for Newfoundland over Team Quebec. In the bottom of the 7th, 2 out. Caron at bat. Whalen fires, and Caron swings through it, and he strikes out to end the game. So your final score, Newfoundland, Physio & Co. 8. Équipe Quebec 7. Your winning pitcher is Mitchell Whalen. Mitchell had a good game, went the distance. 7 strikeouts, including a game-ending K in a pressure situation to end the game. So that moves Newfoundland to 3 wins and 2 losses, and Équipe Quebec to 2 wins and 3 losses. Next up today is the 1 o'clock game between Alvinston Aces and Delisle Saskatchewan Pride. Is scheduled for 1 p.m. There'll be some field maintenance, and once that's done and the umpires are ready to go, we'll be back with the live stream. That's it for me. Thanks for listening.